All right. After World War II, you were part of the army during Korean War, right?
Yes.
What was it like being in the Korean War?
Well, I never went overseas, so I was thankful for that. Uh, they sent me to a track vehicle school, which was tanks. And I learned how to work on the General Sherman tank, which was the M4, and about 5 different models of it. I worked in a motor pool on those tanks all the time I was in the Army. Actually, I was working for a place called the Armored School, which was in Fort Knox, and their job was to teach foreign officers how to maneuver and use the tanks in battle. So we were part of that team. We used to go out in the field with the officers and play, I guess they played war games. We sat in the tanks and froze or sweated depending on. It was fun. I had more fun when I was in the Army because we used to get off on Saturdays and Sundays, and I drove stock cars on the weekend at Elizabethtown Racetrack, and I enjoyed that.
How old were you?
When I was in the Army, I was drafted, I was 21 years old, which annoyed me because I had already established myself with IBM, and I had worked there for 2 years. And they just pulled me out, and away I went. A lot of the guys I went in the Army with were 2 years younger, 3 years younger. That might be a reason why they kept me home and put me in Korea, in the Armored School. But I was a good mechanic, so maybe that's why.
What did your parents think when they found out you were drafted?
They accepted it as a way of life. I guess they didn't want to see me go, but everybody else was being drafted, and I really never thought about it, to tell you the truth. I went in with a lot of guys from my neighborhood, so I wasn't lonesome. And they put us in Camp Kilmer. We stayed there for 2 days, didn't know what we were going to do. Nobody told me anything. And they put us on a train, wouldn't tell us where we were going. Took us 24 hours or 28 hours to get to Fort Knox, but we didn't know we were in Fort Knox even when we got there. Typical Army. But all in all, I wanted to get home, but I made the best I could of it. And, I really enjoyed myself. During the week, I worked in a movie house as a projectionist. It was theater number 2 in Fort Knox, which was just a bit under theater number 1. And it was nice. I made extra money doing that.
And after you were out of the Army, you were still a projectionist, right?
No, I went back to IBM, and then I went to work for UNIVAC for 15 years. Then I transferred over to another computer company until they closed, and wound up out of work at 40 years old. So I became a projectionist, which was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I loved the job, and it paid twice what the UNIVAC paid, so I was very happy with that. And I retired from there.